Hi everybody, it's Cindy at Upcycled Design Lab. In today's video, I'm going to be finishing up my upcycled cardboard wall. And you can see the wall behind me here. When I started the project, this wall was down to the bare studs. So I've gone ahead and I've finished off the wall and I added some storage space for some of my craft supplies. If you'd like to see that first part of this project, you can click on the video link in the corner right now. Before we start with today's project, I do have a little bit of unfinished business from the first part of this project. When I finished up the last video, I wasn't sure how I was going to treat the tin cans. Some of them actually still had their vegetable labels on them. And I thought about just removing the labels, and then I thought about painting them, but what I ended up doing is giving them a rusted finish. So they look a little more antique-like now. And I finished them off with a coat of Minwax polyacrylic, which gives them a little bit of shine. So if you'd like to know how I quickly rust tin cans and other metal, you can click on the video link in the corner right now. Otherwise, let's get on with today's video. As I said before, I'm going to be finishing off this wall, and to do that I'm going to upcycle some more cardboard into some switch plates, baseboard, and door trim. So if you like upcycling and crafting with recycled materials, I hope you'll check out some of my other videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this YouTube channel, and also be sure to check the bell icon to get notifications when I upload new videos. So here's a look at the finished baseboard. And then I'm also going to be making the matching door trim. To make this cardboard trim, you're going to need some cording. I'm using 4-ply natural jute cording. You also need some brown packing paper. I've just saved it from different shipments that I've gotten from various places that I've ordered from. You need some corrugated cardboard. You're also going to want some cardboard boxes, cereal boxes or cracker boxes will work. And you need some paper towel tubes or toilet paper tubes. You're also going to need your cardboard cutting tools. If you're interested in more information on cutting cardboard, you can check out the first installment of this project, and I will link to that in the comment section of this video. You're going to want some Mod Podge, Elmer's glue, hot glue, and a stiff small paintbrush. In this video, I'm going to be making the baseboard. For the door trim, the procedure is exactly the same, except for the measurements are slightly different on the two bottom pieces. So for this piece, I've just used my cereal box, and I'm using the natural corner of the box. So I have 1/2 of an inch here and 3 1/4 inches for the height of the baseboard. For the door trim, I used the same 1/2 inch measurement, and then this piece was just 2 1/4 inches instead of 3 1/4 inches. Alright, so I'm just going to be demonstrating how to make a short piece of the baseboard, and I've gone ahead and cut all of my pieces of cardboard. So I have a piece here. It doesn't matter what the length is because you can just kind of keep building on, as you'll see in a minute. But this width is 3 1/4 inches. My cardboard box pieces are also cut to 3 1/4 inches, and then they have the little 1/2 inch folded piece that comes up. And I have a lot of strips of corrugated cardboard that are cut at 1/2 of an inch. So to start this project, I'm going to glue this piece to the top of this piece here. And I'm going to use the Elmer's glue and the hot glue in combination because I like to get a quick hold with the hot glue and a more permanent hold with the Elmer's glue. So here's what it looks like after I've glued it. I've lined up the widths of my 2 pieces of cardboard, and then this edge is going to stick up just like that. If I were going to continue making this longer, I would just cut another piece of corrugated cardboard, glue it on here, and continue piecing it to the length that I wanted it to be. But we're just going to make this short piece today. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to build up the baseboard design. I want to use my 1/2 inch strips of corrugated cardboard, and I'm gonna, for this end of it where the cardboard corner is, I'm gonna build it up into 3 layers. The only thing I want to be careful of is, as I'm building this, I don't want all of my seams to be in the same place, so I'm going to kind of stagger my seams. So I'm going to put a fairly long piece down and then a shorter piece, and then I'll just keep making them shorter so that my seams end up in different places. And again, I'm going to use the Elmer's glue and the hot glue in combination. So here's what the piece looks like so far. I've got my 3 layers of 1/2 inch corrugated cardboard stacked up here, and they're about exactly a 1/2 inch. So they match up with this piece nicely. And the next step is that I'm going to glue this side to the edge to keep it tight. But I don't want to glue this part down here until I add another piece. And since I'm not going to do that right now, I'm going to cut this piece right here so that I can glue the edge up. And then when I'm ready to continue making this piece longer, I can go ahead and finish this and glue this side up. So again, I'm just going to use the Elmer's glue and the hot glue. Just going to put one little bead of Elmer's glue, come back over it with the hot glue. And I like to use the table for the initial pressing, just that way it keeps from burning your fingers if any of the glue squeezes out. The next step is to put one piece of corrugated cardboard down at the bottom here. So I'm just going to use the exact same technique to add a piece at the actually this will be the top of the baseboard. For this next step, I'm going to be using my toilet paper tube, and I have a little strip here that I've cut that's about 3/4 of an inch wide, and I'm just going to cut some more pieces using this as a template. Your cuts don't have to be perfect, but you do want them to be fairly straight and even. So I'm going to take my cut pieces of paper tubing, and I'm just going to run a bead of hot glue across one long end. And then I'm going to kind of line it up with the top edge of my corrugated cardboard where I have the 3 layers stacked together. And I just want to hold it there till the glue cools off a little bit. And then I'm going to keep working. The only thing I want to be sure about is I kind of want to line up the curves as I'm applying these two. So you want to kind of line it up at the top, but you also want to make sure that your curves are kind of smooth and matching. And it doesn't really matter if your bottom edge is perfect. You can see I have a little extra notch there. They're not exactly the same width. For the final step in the construction of the baseboard, I'm just going to use my hot glue and a piece of this jute twine, and I'm going to glue it along the edge of my curved tube pieces and also along the bottom or the top edge where I just have the 1 layer of corrugated cardboard. So that's the basic construction. This is actually the right side up. And the last step to finish the baseboard is to Mod Podge on the small pieces of the brown packing paper. Quick look at what I just made. I missed one spot with the paper mache here, but this is the finished end. And then just to quickly go over the anatomy again, I have a 3 1/4 inch piece of corrugated cardboard, a 3 1/4 inch piece of cereal box with the corner fold and another 1/2 inch on the fold. Then there's one strip of corrugated cardboard, a 1/2 inch wide on the top of the baseboard, followed by a piece of the twine. On the bottom there's the 3 layers of corrugated cardboard that are stacked on top of each other, and they're a 1/2 inch wide. The 3/4 inch piece of toilet paper or paper towel roll that's glued to the top here, and then another piece of the twine. And just to reiterate, that's for the baseboard. For the door frames, this piece is just 1 inch or 2 1/4 inch wide. So it's a little narrower, but all of the construction is the same. So I finished all of my pieces of door frame and baseboard. And the next thing I need to do are to make some miter cuts and straight cuts to fit the pieces to the wall. And then I'll go ahead and I'll nail them up with these 1 1/4 inch roofing nails and cover the nail heads with the paper mache just like I did on the wall construction. So here's a look at the trim after it's in place. You can see I still need to go ahead and cover up my nail holes. And I'm not the greatest at cutting miter cuts, so I have some gaps at the top in my miters as well. But the nice thing about that is that I can cover those up with paper mache as well. To finish this project, I made a couple of cardboard switch plates. I just used a thin piece of the cereal box for the back and my 1/2-inch strips of corrugated cardboard to make the edge. And the last step is just to cover them with the brown packing paper and Mod Podge. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out all my other videos in this Craftroom Makeover series. I will put links to those in the comment section of this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to this YouTube channel, checking out my blog at www.upcycledesignlab.com, and also click the bell icon to get notifications when I upload new videos.